We need to find ways of accommodating failure into the narrative of our lives so that when we do fail, we do not feel or have to accuse ourselves always of being losers. One of the great enemies of creativity at a corporate and a personal level is the fear of failure. And no creativity, as Nietzsche told us, no creativity can occur without an accommodation with failure. If you are not prepared to fail, whether that's as a client, as an agency, as an individual, if you're not prepared to fail, you cannot succeed.
Every single one of you who is struggling right now, you need to understand this. What you're going through right now is necessary. What's happening right now is you are forging the fucking skills. You are forging the determination. You are forging the fortitude. You are forging all the fucking things that nobody else is gaining because they're sitting on their hands and you're willing to push through.
Every situation is an opportunity, and you don't got to do more work than the next man. You get to do more work than the next man. You get to take advantage of your opportunity and see a spectrum that people don't get to see. You know, you get to live out the levels of life that, you know, people don't get to see. You know, people don't get to see the bottom sometimes.
If you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Now, this is your time. The light of new realization shines on you today.
So how do we become good at concentrating? We start by understanding the mind. Once you know how the mind works, you can control it. And once you can control it, you can focus it. You can't focus or concentrate something you don't understand. We allow people and things around us to take awareness from one area of the mind to another all day long, from the time we wake up. And therefore, we become distracted.
I'm a big-time introvert. How you address it is you face it. You face it every day. You face it every single day of your life. It's patience. It's patience in this fact of accepting who you are right now. You have to live in your own fucking world. You cannot judge yourself. That's why social media and all these things are horrible. You can't judge yourself off of the so-called competition that we have made up in our mind.
It's only you, and you're in your bubble, and I wish I had someone at that time who could just pull me aside and, hey, it's gonna be okay. It'll be okay. So I wish I knew that. Just gotta remember. Hold on to that fundamental quality of faith. Have faith that on the other side of your pain is something good.
I interrupt too much. I jump in too much. I finish people's sentences for them too often. And that's an ego thing, almost like I think I can say it better than them. In fact, I'm so bad at it, I'll be honest with you. Before every show, I tell them, hey, this isn't like any other interview you've been on before. I'm going to interrupt you. You can interrupt me. We'll make it like a real conversation. And all of my guests always politely say, wonderful, that's great. I want you to cut me off. But the truth is, that's not how a great conversation goes. It's not two people interrupting each other all the time. It's one person talking, another person listening until they're finished speaking, and then responding.
You know, I gave the sport of boxing my whole life. I dedicated my whole life to the sport of boxing. And all I ever wanted to do was put my family, my mother and my father, in a comfortable position. My dad is a millionaire. My mother, she's a millionaire. And the investments were for my grandchildren, not just my children. Yeah. You know, put them in a position. That's really what it's about.
And the problem is nobody has humility to live a $100,000 lifestyle. I think we have to change the conversation in our society. Not in Southeast Asia, not in Malaysia, not in America. 7 billion people need to change the conversation of what success looks like. It is not to make $1 billion. It is to actually wake up in the morning and be in a good mood.
The other thing that's important, I think, is to keep your head down. You know, keep your head down. Like when I swim, I've got 25 laps. Guaranteed if I look up and start counting those laps, I'm petered out by 15. If I put my head down and keep working away and work at technique, work at internal rhythm, work at, I hit that length, I don't even know what length I'm on, guarantee you I'll look up and it'll be 20 and 3 more to go. And that's a very simple device.
No one in the victim mindset has ever seen growth from that mindset. But everyone who has traded that victim mindset for a mindset of acceptance, a mindset of healing, and a mindset of perspective has found their way out. And the mistake we make is we tell people what it's almost like toxic mindset advice. That doesn't work either, because that person needs to accept that they've been through something painful.
That's hard work, because not hard for me running, it's hard for my brain. It's hard for my mind to wake up in the morning. Like last night, I maybe went to sleep at 2 because I watched a movie or something, and then the alarm goes 6:30. But I worked hard and it paid off. And that's exactly what I want to tell these guys, because it's difficult, because they have everything today. iPhones, iPads, friends, they go out, they can go already to dinner, you know. They have everything. So it's so hard to work hard.
The best way to prove your value is to work, is to learn, is to absorb, to be a sponge. Right? But you always want to outwork your potential. You know, as hard as you believe you can work harder than that. Every day in practice for me was really trying to annihilate everybody that I was playing against. Because I wanted to prove you don't need to babysit me. Like, I'm fine, you know?
In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk. And I really think that that's true, right? I mean, a lot of people, I think that, you know, whenever it comes to, whenever you get yourself into a position where you have to make some big shift in direction or do something, you know, there are always, people are going to point to the downside risks of that decision.
Take care of you. That's your number one job in the world, is to take care of yourself, to look after yourself. No one is going to be responsible for that job to nearly the extent that you are in your lifetime. You are the only person who has always been there for you. You're the only person who has woken up with you every morning of your life and gone to bed with you every night. On the hardest nights in your life, in the most difficult moments in your life.
The fear of failing is an illusion.
Yeah.
Fear is an illusion, but we have to have desire. We have to have something that pushes us. Fear pushes us. We don't understand that living prepares us for death. Our life, it prepares us for death. You know, even if we die young, it prepares us. So just the fact that we're losing guys like Kobe lose. We just moving people in our family. There's people dying. It's around us all every day, so we prepare for it. We understand that, but we avoid it.
Blind can't lead the blind, bro.
Yes,
Somebody
sir.
got to have a vision.
Yes, sir.
And you got to follow who got the vision. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes,
if you
sir.
stuck on stupid, I ain't going to judge you or have no disrespect for you, but I'm
gonna be
not,
over here.
Yeah, and I'm not going to follow you or take heed to your opinion. You're going to have to follow what I'm doing.
I heard
and
that.
after a while, that way of thinking versus this way of thinking, more people lean toward this way because of the results.
And I have these 3 steps of success. I was just talking about them in the other room. And you start with succeed. Succeed is to make it. Everybody says it's the easy part. It's the easiest part, but it's not easy, okay? Success is the second part, which is maintain it. That's the tough part. And once you understand how to do all that, then you become successful, right? But in those 3 words, if you look at them, they all have the word suck in them. Because the more you grow, the more they suck. All right?
If you want to live your best life, if you want to own your game in your industry, if you want to live a life that makes history, raise your standards. Raise your standards of how you live. Raise your standards to world class in terms of the work you do. Raise your standards in terms of your conversations. Raise your standards in terms of the friends you have. Raise the standards to world class in terms of the food you eat.